Everybody ready?
Yes, sir.
Glenn looks very serious. I can't tell if he's ready though.
I'm gonna turn my messaging off here. So
Oh yeah, good call.
Glenn's busy snapping checks and cashing checks, man.
Snapping necks.
All right.
Hello, my friends.
Thank you for joining us for the PEBCAK Podcast, a weekly information security show featuring some all-around good people. It is week 11 of 2025. I'm Chris Louie, and still struggling with losing an hour of sleep this past weekend. With me, I have my co-host, the Cloud God, who desperately needs to be unplugged from the internet.
So I was thinking about this. I'm like, what the hell do I need to be unplugged from the internet for? What do you mean by this?
Is the comment that Victor made when you started sending all those inappropriate videos to the group chat.
Oh gosh, yeah. I've sent pictures, but you're the one with the videos. But okay, you need to be unplugged as well. Like you have the most questionable content. But speaking about getting kicked off the internet, yesterday we were doing like a whiskey tasting event, right? And like I just got done for my first 10 minutes of like drawing and all that stuff, and then I hand it off, and the next thing you know, the power goes out. And then I'm like, and I try tethering, I can't even tether. And so I have no one's phone number with the exception of the other guy that's presenting. So I'm trying to call him, I freaking drive down the road, get some service. And I was like, dude, my power went out. I think that like, is it the end of the world? Like I don't even have internet right now. I have no, like I thought like an EMP went off.
Oh,
and
man.
he's like, you can't. Yeah, he's like, you can't even like tether. I'm like, no, man, I've been trying for like the last 20 minutes to get a hold of you guys. And so the power got restored like an hour and a half later. And then this morning I got an email from AT&T that says, here's a service credit for the outage in your neighborhood. I'm like, how the hell does this even happen? Like you should have some type of resiliency battery backup. But bro, like it was crazy. Like I was a little nervous there for a second that something catastrophic actually happened.
Last mile, though, right?
This is the end. This
Typically,
is the end.
last mile.
Yeah.
There's no redundancy in that last
Yeah.
mile for single family homes.
Yeah.
And let me guess, your service credit was like $1.33.
237 actually.
Was close.
Was it power or internet that they reimbursed you for? Both?
So AT&T was my cell phone, so I didn't have voice or data on that. And then the local power company, they probably didn't do anything. But yeah, I just had nothing. I was
That's
just
crazy.
sitting here staring at the wall. Yeah. But I was also like, I should have prepped better. Thank God I got ammo. I'm gonna have to go forge my own stuff. Yeah, yeah. So
And
to any listeners that were actually on that webinar that I just ducked out on, like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. And so now I got to record the other two portions of the episode and send it out here at by the end of the day today.
all right, you got your homework, Brian.
I do.
And we have Glenn Medina, who has been curiously quiet on our group chat lately.
Been busy. What can you say when you're trying to balance work and life and family and everything else? Like, sometimes you can't be there, but like I said, I'm reading them. I guarantee you I'm reading all the threads that are going through. And for some reason, we spawned from like one thread to like 10. And we've also using now Signal. And for some reason, Chris is back to using, what do you call that? Messenger, right? On iMessage. So it's like, that's totally unusual, Chris. What's going on?
That's not on me. That's Alan's fault.
Oh, because
I
he
blame
won't get
Alan.
signal.
No,
Yeah.
no, you got it wrong. I actually got a message from Chris on AOL Instant Messenger earlier today.
AIM.
How's it going? Yeah.
Really, ICQ next.
Yeah, I'm sad about ICQ now.
Yeah. Good old IRC, Internet Relay Chat.
Yeah. I normally like chime in or like something at 10, 11 o'clock at night when I can come up for air. But yeah, keep it going. The banter is awesome. I love it.
I figured Glenn
So
got scared from those inappropriate videos Brian's been sending.
Trying to distance myself from him.
Okay. So I thought you were busy when you were working at a startup, but now that you went over to the other place, man, you are just crazy busy. And I hope this is all working out for you. Hopefully you're making a lot of money.
I hope so too.
And you're not just being stretched thin from a competitive perspective. But yeah, you don't have to comment on that.
I think it's just family. I think right now the family's just firing on all 4 cylinders right now. Actually 8. So
Is that a good thing? Usually we require all 8 cylinders. That means you know, life is awesome.
Yeah. It's good and bad at the same time. Like I said, it's just different. Like I'm in the next phase of my life. I don't know if you guys know I'm taking care of my elderly mom, so it's taking up a lot of my time. So
Okay.
yeah.
Our guest this week is the returning Tyson Kindler. Tyson is a returning guest. He previously appeared on our most listened to episode of 2024, the live Black Hat DEF CON episode. So welcome back, Tyson.
Remember that?
Yeah. Thank you very much. Happy to be back. Twiddling my thumbs, waiting for y'all to call me. Yeah. Hopefully we can be the next most listened to episode here.
Maybe. Most listened to for 2025.
There we go.
Combined, we have decades of information security experience here, not just to educate, but to entertain. We've got 4 awesome stories for this week, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. This week, we're going to pour one out for an old friend. Google spies on you for a good reason. For our third topic, the largest crypto heist in history, and close with another enshitification topic.
Whoa, we're explicit now? Well, look at
Is
you
that a
dropping
word?
bad
Wow,
words.
that's crazy.
It's not.
Wow.
It's not. I looked this up. It is not considered a curse word. We're not going to get flagged for adult language.
Oh, so we can have enshitification as well?
I don't know about that, Brian.
Can we say the word like? Is that just like saying like shiitake mushrooms or something like that?
Yeah, it's a real thing. Enshitification.
Shiitification. All right.
We just lost Tyson. He had an EMT go off in his house too. Oh shit.
An EMT and an emergency medical technician just showed
If
up.
it's a real word, why is it
No,
not coming up?
EMT.
If it's a real word, why isn't that coming up as saying that it needs spelling?
Exactly.
It's a current, or it's a more modern word that's entered our lexicon recently.
Okay.
It's a real thing, though. We did a whole episode on it with
Okay.
Ben Coral.
All right. I'll take your word for it. I can't remember.
Reminder
I love that we're
next,
just making up words now.
reminder that next week is episode 200, so be sure to tune in for a very special episode.
Yes, we'll be adopting a baby and giving away puppies to all listeners.
Oh,
Indeed.
Three men and a baby.
And he's back.
Yeah, that wonderful network connection. The internet dumped out, and I am hotspot.
Brian thought an
All
EMP went off. It was your turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe AT&T will
You
give
probably
me
turn off that video if you want, man.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
can
I
turn on
will.
video if you want to not lag. But as long as you're recording locally, everything should still work out fine.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
we're good. The video didn't look bad, unless I look horrible too.
must be your.
I mean, you always look horrible.
Attaboy.
Just kidding.
Might be a ZTNA agent. Who knows?
Ooh. A secret ZTNA agent.
A secret ZTNA agent.
Yeah. But I'm back. What did I miss?
We're just arguing the merits of the word enshitification, if it actually is an explicit word or not, which is not. It is not an explicit word. It's a real thing.
I don't think it's explicit.
No. It's not
Okay, so
explicit.
your son, Dom, I don't know if I can say that or not. Dom's in class. He's like, I'm tired of this enshitification. Are you okay with it?
I'm
Are you
okay with
standing
it.
behind?
I
right.
can co-sign on that. Yeah.
Just like some of our customers like to double down on bad ideas. Or prospects. No, some prospects.
Teach them to have the proper use of Boulder Dash too.
Not following, not tracking.
For our first topic, we have to pour one out for our old friend Skype. Microsoft has officially said it's killing off the much-beloved instant messaging app. Founded in 2003 by some former engineers of Kazaa, if you remember that, where Brian was spreading back orifice like crazy over Kazaa. It was the first major disruption to the long-distance calling industry. Skype famously allowed free peer-to-peer calls and heavily discounted Skype to landline calls. The company was bought by eBay for $2.6 billion, aiming to integrate it into the future of their e-commerce platform, and overnight, the number of users grew from 1 million to 50 million.
Damn.
In 2011, Microsoft bought it for $8.5 billion, putting it into its Office ecosystem. It would eventually replace Live Messenger and be the basis for Lync, Office Communicator, Skype for Business, and now Microsoft Teams. Skype users have until May 2025 to export all their contacts and chats and import them into the new Microsoft Teams.
Nice.
Do you guys remember Lync? I vaguely remember Lync.
Yep, I know Lync very well.
Yeah.
I think, Chris, you sent like a meme that said Microsoft would rather create a new element in the universe than to fix Teams.
Yeah, a new form of matter.
Yeah.
We have a fifth state of matter
Yeah.
now, quantum computing instead of fixing Teams.
Oh my gosh, there's this one person I follow on X, and all she posts is this like Enshitification post. If you read between the lines of Teams, right? Like this is the funniest content that I've ever seen. And I'm with it. Teams sucks, but I think the only thing that's worse, or a very close second to Teams, has got to be WebEx. WebEx is like,
Ooh, yeah.
WebEx used to be good, though. I'll be honest with you. I used to use WebEx back in the day, and I thought it
We
was way
used to
better
use
than
it too.
Teams.
Yeah.
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 But
Yeah.
yeah, WebEx.
Zoom is so much better
Not
though.
great.
Like, is there anything better than Zoom?
Blue Jeans.
Skype sucks.
I have not found
Blue
it.
Jeans.
You know, to me, you're not able to draw on the screen in Teams, right?
I think you can.
I'm sure you
Yeah,
can.
Can you? Okay.
Yeah, you can.
I got to learn how to do that for the 3 Teams meetings I join a year. But it's like, no, for Zoom, it's like, I love the annotation. I love the whiteboarding. Teams can go away.
Teams makes it very Microsoft-esque, right? So it makes it very difficult to join if you don't have a Teams account and you have to use your personal account. Unlike Zoom, like you don't need an account to join Zoom, right? You can just come on, and where Teams will make you register an account and do all kinds of crazy stuff. And let alone if you have a Mac, you have to configure settings in order to share. Like for instance, if I hop on a Teams call right now on a new Mac or a new device, I have to go back in and change all these settings, and it's like, well, who would ever think to do that?
You have to reboot the app.
Yeah. Who would ever think to do that? 5 minutes before a call or even during a call. Whereas Zoom, I don't think that's necessary in Zoom.
I think it is,
always
but
felt like-
you use Zoom way more, so it's already pre-configured.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've already done it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, had to do it at least once. But I feel like Skype was just like, was this a tool for Barbie? Like anytime you open it up, all the audio and like this, the overall look and feel, I'm like, this is a children's toy. Like I don't know
Yeah.
what the hell is
No, I
going
think
on.
it really was like the connecting grandma and grandkids together. And so they made it that, plastic, bubbly, tablet friendly style. Just easy mode. Yeah.
I'll never forget the first time I got a call from my grandma on Skype. She was somehow unearthed and severely decomposed because she died like 20 years ago, well before Skype even came out. I'm like, who the heck would do this to me? You're messed up, man.
You'll have to remember, though, I think the time, because I from 2007 to 2010, I was separated from the family by choice. I took a job in Texas. And during that time, the only way I could communicate visually with the kids was using Skype. FaceTime was not out yet, or FaceTime was not a thing, from an Apple from an Apple standpoint.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, it was great because there were no toll charges. You could, you could basically go face to
peer-to-peer
face.
was free,
and you could have multiple Skype sessions if I'm not mistaken, other than the one, maybe, I don't know. But anyways, it was a way for me to communicate with my kids without necessarily have to be there. Yeah,
it was free.
Yeah, but it was a good way for me to communicate with my kids. I remember my kids, I would be like, they would be home, and I would like watch them from 3 to 5 o'clock in the afternoon from the office on my personal machine in the office, having Skype up, and I would just sit there and watch them play, and it was just fun. So
it's like the old nanny cam.
Yeah, I'll tell you what killed Skype: FaceTime. So, right?
That's true.
Yeah. FaceTime, and I think just other messaging apps too, like WhatsApp and Telegram, and iMessage, because it was like an instant messaging app.
Yeah, I would have never
That's how it
thought.
started,
I would have
before
never thought
voice
that
and
Skype
video.
would have been used for business, though. I never thought there was a business application in there, but maybe someone from Microsoft did. So
They literally just changed the logos. It's Skype for business. You're like, wow, I should just buy this right now.
Just
Nope.
add the for
No, no.
business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with all that said, yeah, I mean, you're right. Like, iMessage and FaceTime is out here eliminating things left and right. But on the flip side, a majority of the world uses WhatsApp,
Yeah.
which is a freaking Facebook product, and they use it for everything. They like post stories on there. I don't know what you call it. It's not FaceTime, but they video chat and text and call, And then meanwhile, you can do that exact same thing on Signal. So I don't know why you wouldn't want to be doing it
yeah.
over there as opposed to
Well, there's an app in China as well, right? I mean, through their messaging app, they pay their bills. WeChat, they pay everything. So it's like Venmo and
WeChat Pay.
Yeah, it's like Venmo
It's
and
a super app.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. But it'd be cool if we could do that.
E-commerce too.
That's the type of app that Musk wants to make, right?
X, yeah, he wants to make X into a super app. Like we don't have one here in the U.S. Like other companies overseas, they do that. It's one app. You could call a cab, call a rideshare. You can order food. You can buy stuff like eBay or Amazon. You can make payments. It's like just an all-in-one app. That's more common in the rest of the world, not very common here in the U.S.
Yeah, I want my internet
probably
separate.
Decentralized.
I wonder how much more it costs them to keep it up as opposed to retiring it and just being done with it, right? There must have been companies out there that were supporting that or needed support for
They
that.
They just want to push everybody to Teams.
Yeah.
As awful as that app is.
Yeah.
Like at some point you want to stop maintaining or fixing bugs. You want to not be, another entry point for people to get into a system or compromises. So just kill it off and force people away.
Like Windows 7 support and XP, like that.
Yeah. I think at its peak, Skype had 500 million active users, and now I think it's down to like 4 million users. And they said, let's just move everybody over to Teams. Like they don't want to maintain an entire platform just for these handful of users. At least in their opinion, handful of users.
all I know is this is like a giant, like if you think you have a target on you, put your entire livelihood into one app, right? Like just why don't we just incorporate payroll here as well, right?
Yeah.
That thing is just, it's only a matter of time.
Wait till the
Like
company
the
starts
blackmail.
being your single app. Won't be a company town, it'll
Yeah.
be a company app and everything. Yeah.
You have a WeChat phone, a WeChat house, WeChat car.
Yeah.
That social credit score is going to go down real quick, or higher if you're a good old boy.
Exactly. You have more control over your life with that social credit score.
Mm. So
Okay, see, my
I'll be
beef,
long and
can we
my
do
beef with Teams is that when I'm on a Mac and I say join a Teams meeting and I say join from the Teams app, I have two Teams apps. I have like the classic, I have the new that's
business.
classic, and then and it's like click which one. I click this one. It's like, oh, you have to upgrade. Like, okay, I'll click the other one. It's like, oh, you're on too high of a version. Like what? So I just joined from the web. I'm like, I can't figure this stupid app out. I'm like, I'm just gonna join from the web from now on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Microsoft actually made a sixth element. Did you guys know about this?
Crapium.
No, it was it actually happened yesterday on a Teams call. Like it got my computer so hot it created a new element, just melted the thing. Like I could have fried an egg on this thing. It was so freaking hot. I'm like, this hot garbage.
Oh man.
Anytime I'm on the phone with the customer, they're like, "Oh, what do you mean we like Teams?" I'm like, "We're probably not going to sell to you at all, are we?"
That's like Stockholm syndrome, right? It's like
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
You are not our customer base. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, for our second topic, Google will soon scan text messages for signs of potential fraud and romance scams / pig butchering scams. We previously reported that Google is offering new Pixel 9 users the ability to listen in on phone conversations to listen for signs of potential financial scams. The new feature for text messages will be on by default in Android and will only process locally on the device to preserve user privacy. Unlike the phone call monitoring feature, the text message scanning feature will be on by default and only applies to text messages not in the user's contact list. That means Brian can keep trying to scam me and no one will be the wiser. If the phone detects a potential scam, it'll pop up warnings to the user and give them the ability to block and report the sender.
I think mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, they all need to have this phone then. I'm in a huge support of this. Actually, as much as I hate Google, we need to protect them somehow.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree. I am a Google Android phone user. I'm steadily losing more and more trust in Google. Not that I have a lot left anyway, right? But for the non-technical people, I think this is pretty handy to have, as long as it does exactly what they say and stays local and isn't going to go beyond.
Yeah, as long as they're not hoovering up that data to sell you better ads. Like if it is truly on-device processing to prevent grandma from getting scammed, then I can get on board with that.
But do we really believe that?
So what?
Ooh.
We can be hopeful, can't we?
Yeah.
Sure.
So what do you guys like? Let's say 40 years down the road, we are now the inept people of society. What kind of scams do you think we're going to fall for? Like a robot's going to come to the door and
Knock on our door.
convince me to knock on the door. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's my grandson. I love you. Like, do you think it'll be that advanced? Like, what do you think we'll fall for when we get older?
I think we're probably
It's
the
hard to
most
say.
skeptical, though, right? Of all the
It's-
generations.
It'll
You'd
probably
hope.
be someone selling us an extra book to update our skepticism.
It's like you don't know
I don't
what
think I'll fall.
you don't know
It
what.
can't be like an Amway thing, like a multi-level marketing.
Or it could be like one of
Yeah.
those, like, hey, get this digitally installed underneath your skin, and you can use it as a phone now, and we can track you, and I don't know, do something like that.
The biohacking stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my wife has one
Hey,
of those.
Brian, you're old. Yeah. Hey, Brian, you're old and decrepit. Would you like to be able to bend over without moaning in pain? Just take this pill.
Oh,
It's
I'll take
$5
that
million.
right now. Yeah.
I think I would fall for that one. Like, I think society now is always looking for the easy button or the one pill solution.
Yeah.
So maybe I would fall for something like that if I was this miserable, I guess. I don't know.
It's like once you get that Neuralink implant, they'll say, well, this software update will remove your back pain, but it's actually a malicious update that takes over your body.
Oh man, I can't wait for Neuralink. I'm gonna get that. Be so much smarter than you guys.
What if it's like the the Optimus robot? Like we're all gonna have Optimus robots. Like Optimus carry the groceries in for me, and then they get some kind of malicious update, and it starts like just taking over your house.
Well, then that would be like,
I'm glad that you.
what's that movie? The one that what's his name was in iRobot?
iRobot,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, like half arm.
Yeah, where the
Yeah.
robots.
Will Smith.
was I guess the robots were taking over, or were disguised to take over from good to bad,
Yep.
Yeah.
and no, didn't follow. Was it the prime rule number
The
one?
3 rules.
Yeah.
Yeah. Asimov's three rules.
Yeah.
So on the note of like robots and stuff, here's a morbid thought. So to you guys and all the listeners, when I die, take me out to the sea and throw me out like a Decepticon or Bin Laden. That's how I want to be buried. So
There you
I'd
go, let's
appreciate
see.
that.
I think that's fair. Yeah.
Burial. Yeah.
Just be nice and
Not
deep,
that I'm a bad
with
guy, but
Megatron.
I think the
and-
reference resonates well. Yeah.
He said, "Look at this Decepticon."
We'll,
Oh my god!
we'll give you the 21 fart gun salute.
There you go.
I'm telling you. No, I was trying to create like my LinkedIn post, and that was one of them. I was like, oh, I can't post that on LinkedIn. That's so freaking funny. I'll save it for the pod.
Nice.
I don't know why I'm a villain. Like, who else gets buried out to sea that would be like good? Nothing comes to mind other than Megatron and Bin Laden.
Vikings.
So-
Vikings got a
True.
burial at sea.
Sailors
Oh, I
who
can-
die at sea get pushed off at sea.
Did they
Yeah.
really?
Yeah,
Like U.S.
yeah.
Like
I think
Navy people?
so. I think so.
Put me in Arlington, baby. I don't want to go to out in the ocean. I don't want to chum the water like fish bait. Jesus, or shark bait.
I know back in the day they would do it, but I think now don't they freeze
Maybe
them?
they bring them home. Yeah, could
They
be.
just clean up space in the coolers.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah, it's been a while since Glenn's been on a boat out at sea.
What? Hear me out. You throw me in the ocean, a great white devours me, but I had Neuralink. It somehow embeds inside the shark's brain, and now you have a super shark that's connected to Neuralink with my consciousness. Think about that. That would be. I live for hundreds of years. I just go around killing things. Like I said, like half your life as a shark is spending is looking for food. The other half is eating it. I don't know of a better demise.
Fair enough.
That's the perfect retirement plan, right?
Yeah, I
It
think
is.
so.
Except the shark's got to say, how do I hold a marker to the whiteboard using this little fin?
Oh no, I told you, I'm looking for food and I'm eating it. That's it. I don't care about talking to customers. Oh my gosh, what if I did figure out how to way to create like some sort of breathing apparatus? I come on board, I get behind the light board as a great white shark. I don't know, standing on my fins, but again, it's Neuralink. All things are possible.
Yeah.
Maybe I find a mermaid, convince her to go to land to get. All right, whatever.
Or maybe you turn into a mermaid and then you become.
Hey, whoa,
yeah.
whoa.
Merman.
Merman, father, merman.
Hey.
Or man. As long as you have the coconut shell bra, you're fine.
Oh my God! All right, guys, let's go on.
Yeah, I was gonna mention related to that. So that's Google's side of things. So Apple does this now, and I remember right when Apple Intelligence came out, there's actually a post on the DEF CON subreddit that says, "Oh no, Apple can read your Signal messages," and it does. Like Apple Intelligence will scan my Signal messages and give me a summary. First of all, it sucks. Like Apple Intelligence is horrible
At the
It's
moment.
even not very good at even summarizing things. Yeah, but it's supposedly Apple is, they're a very privacy centric company, and it is on device because you have to have at least an iPhone 15 for it to work. So it has the AI cores on the device.
Or a MacBook that can support it. I just got upgraded the other day, and it was like, "Welcome to Apple Intelligence." I'm like, shut up, man! I can't do this right now. I got a meeting. But what do I get with Apple Intelligence on that? Can I create the cool little
Playground
emoji characters?
Yeah, Playground will work.
But Playground requires a picture, right? It doesn't like Grok. You can say, "Hey, create something for me." Where Image Playground, it like requires an image to start with first. I thought that was kind of weird, or maybe I'm wrong. Am I wrong in that?
I don't remember. I've only used to mess with people I know.
Yeah,
So I don't know if it can generate something from
nothing.
scratch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn you, Zscaler on Zscaler. Why can't I use the Image Playground?
They blocked the Apple Intelligence.
Nice.
That's fine. That's fine.
We're all waiting until 2026 when Apple Intelligence is actually usable. But I can see Apple integrating this into their ecosystem since they already have that capability to scan and summarize their messages now. They should be able to scan and analyze it for potential scams.
Yeah,
Since we
I'm on
said
board with that.
scams, for our third topic, crypto exchange Bybit was robbed of $1.5 billion in Ethereum by the North Korean Lazarus Group. This eye-popping number is 1.5 times more than the already overly ambitious Bangladesh bank heist, which tried to steal almost $1 billion in hard currency by hacking the SWIFT banking system. How does this happen? To say this was one of the most highly sophisticated, financially motivated attacks would truly be an understatement.
All right, let's go.
The technical breakdown would take a full episode, but I'll do my best to tell it in fast-forward mode. The Bybit followed best practices and stored the majority of their crypto holdings in cold storage and offline hardware wallets. So that's good, because if your hot wallet gets hacked, you're pretty much owned. North Koreans hacked into a developer of the software platform that Bybit used called SafeWallet, and they compromised the developer by publishing a malicious Docker container. Bybit used its SafeWallet, and the North Koreans performed a supply chain attack to compromise SafeWallet. So when Bybit signed what they thought was a legitimate transaction using their hardware wallets, a bit of malicious code got put onto the Ethereum blockchain and was signed by Bybit's keys. That malicious code allowed North Korea to take over the cold storage wallet and steal all $1.5 billion worth of crypto. I believe I read that before laundering the ETH, North Korea was the third largest holder of Ethereum globally. In December, blockchain analysis company Chainalysis said North Korean hackers stole $1.34 billion across 47 crypto heists last year, so someone definitely smashed their quota this year with a single hack.
Yeah, that's
So I guess
impressive.
it's got to be a little terrifying that they did both best practices, hardware wallets, or cold storage, right? But at this point in time, if they have that much Ethereum, like why doesn't everyone just dump it and make that stuff worthless? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. If North Korea is like a third of all Ethereum floating out there, they can't possibly sell it all.
Well,
Yeah,
what
they're-
happened to the other
they're-
2/3 though, right? That have invested in it.
Yeah, they're already laundering it, and when Bybit was made aware of this hack, so how they hacked it was Bybit was replenishing their hot wallets, because you have to have some liquidity in the hot wallets for people to send money, withdraw money. You have to have some liquidity. So they were replenishing one of the hot wallets, and they managed to steal all the money from the cold wallet, or this one particular cold wallet, while they were refreshing their hot wallet. And they said, we'll give a 10% bug bounty to whoever gets us our money back. So I think this is actually the world's largest bug bounty, because if you recover the money, you get a $150 million payday.
F yeah. So all right. So Bybit and then Safe Wallet, is that like you said a supply chain? So that's a third party. Is it open source tool or is it
No.
commercially?
Safe Wallet's a commercial software,
Okay.
and it's meant for it's a multi-signature wallet, which multi-signature means you have to have multiple people at Bybit sign this transaction, and that's number one, so no one person can steal the money, and number two, if one person gets hacked, it doesn't compromise the system. You have to compromise everybody that has to sign it, which they happen to do this time.
So who do we point the finger at as like the dude? You guys really kind of screwed up here. Is it Safe Wallet or is it Bybit?
So reading, and keep me honest here, I think reading about it, it was like effectively like a JavaScript, in fact, injection on the Safe Wallet site.
Safe Wallet, yes.
Yeah, so it was pretty much like they got Bybit to log in through this infected JavaScript page. It was coded such that it would only trigger this infection if it was Bybit who was doing the login. So that way it
Exactly.
went under the radar otherwise. And
Yeah,
then
no one else would notice.
Yeah, and then I was reading like within a few minutes of that transaction being initiated and them being able to either, copy the session or hijack it or whatever, that malicious code was gone. It was like they were actively maintaining it and just watching and waiting, and then boop, they popped it out once they had what they needed. And
That's crazy though.
Bro. Was it so? Do we know how long were they in? Right, because you look at that mean time to detection is always the new thing. It used to be months, right, and then things like that. Now it's supposed to be smaller, but yeah, I'm curious. Did they say how long these people had compromised Bybit?
I believe it was months, because they had to observe how they signed the transactions. Like they needed to know what their daily workflow was, and for actually the Safe Wallet developer. So they compromised the Safe Wallet developer, and then they would monitor the Safe Wallet developer, and they know every day he signs in at 8 a.m., does his work. So they would also sign in exactly at 8 a.m. so it wouldn't raise any alarms. They'd steal his AWS session key, inject the malicious JavaScript, and no one would be the wise, because it looks like a developer was actually doing the work he was supposed to be doing.
So for a fact, Bybit is printing money. They're probably super cocky, right? There's like, yeah, we know what they were doing. Any vendor that's going in there to sell them security, they're probably like, nope, we can build it better.
Yeah.
I guarantee that's not the case, right?
Yeah.
So I did miss it. Was the developer in question, was that endpoint compromised or the network was compromised first, or do we not know?
It was the endpoint. So the malicious Docker container was run on the developer's local Mac.
The local,
Probably an
wow.
unmanaged device.
yeah.
Because he's a developer and should have access to whatever he wants, he or she wants, right?
Yeah. Brian, you're talking about, mean time to detection, and I think in this situation there was no detection. It wasn't detected
Yeah,
until it was
right.
too late. It was over.
Till the ETH was gone, and they had to work their way backwards to figure out what the heck happened here. And
You know what's funny is that they're like, as they're doing their incident remediation, they're like, we should have blocked DeepSeek. That was the way. I was saying it, everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to your question, Brian, of who's at fault here, and there's plenty of blame to go around. So first of all, Safe Wallet should have had better practices, not get compromised in the first place. Bybit is partially guilty here. So if you go to Safe Wallet's website now, there's a gigantic warning screen that says, we help prevent compromise, but you're ultimately responsible for signing and verifying every single transaction. And what happened was the malicious JavaScript that they injected into Safe Wallet, what the transaction they were signing did not match the UI of what they were looking at. So that on the screen it says you're signing this transaction to move money from your cold wallet to your hot wallet. So it looked legitimate. And then you have to go onto the hardware wallet and say, yes, I accept this transaction. On the actual hardware wallet, it would have said the actual transaction they were signing, which was not what was shown on the screen. So if they compared the two, which you're supposed to do, you're supposed to compare the address on the hardware wallet to the address that's shown on the screen. But when you get complacent, you just go, yes, 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 yes. And then that's ultimately what happened. So Bybit, if they had paid a little bit closer attention, they would have noticed the wallet on the hardware wallet, or the address on the hardware wallet does not match the address that's shown on my screen.
Oh, so they didn't follow all of the best practices, is what you're saying?
Yes.
They missed one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got
Yeah.
a little too complacent with that.
That's rough. Yeah. That whole regulations are written in blood. I think this is another one of, hey, there's a reason why this policy exists. Yeah.
You think the
so
North Korean guy, the attacker, was like Boris from Golden Guy? I am invincible.
I was like, I'm invincible.
Yes! I am invincible!
I would hope. I mean, you
1.5
gotta
billion.
celebrate. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I hope Kim Jong-un gave him like a gold watch or a BMW car or something. I hope he got something out of it for stealing 1.5 billion for the regime. Although stealing the money is, I would put it in quotes, the easy part. Laundering it is more difficult. And I think last I read, about 30% of the funds were successfully laundered, that they don't know where it is now, that it's just gone. So 30% of 1.5 billion, 400-ish million dollars just out the window, just gone. They're never going to get it back. And I think they've only been able to trace or freeze about 3% of the funds too. So something like 40 million out of the 1.5 billion. But yeah, this is a fail all around.
You think that's the problem with digital currency right now, is the fact that these keys or whatnot, they get lost, as opposed to like real hard cash, I guess is different, right? Or even gold or silver, the way it's traded. You're talking about real assets here. I mean, cash isn't real assets either, but I think you know where I'm going with this.
It is, and that's what happened with their North Korea's first attempt when they tried to hack into the Bangladesh bank. They got caught, and they still managed to get like 40 million or something. But they almost stole about $1 billion, and the reason they weren't able to was because of the controls in place. It was a very manual process. Someone at the New York Federal Reserve had to punch in this transaction, and they said, "This looks weird," and then didn't put it through. But for crypto, that's the draw of it. It's decentralized. There's nobody that can claw it back. It's irreversible. That's a benefit, but it's a feature, but it's also a bug, as we can see here.
Yeah. Well, the fact that they were able to get into the blockchain, right, is pretty ingenious, right? That should tell us
They
that
didn't even
there's
have
an
to
issue.
touch that. Yeah.
There's definitely an issue there.
Yeah. I think there's that concern, though, of here's this digital asset that exists in some form, and if I throw it in a hot wallet and my wallet gets destroyed, well, that asset is gone. Right?
Yeah,
It's still technically there. It's in a wallet that I can never get back. But it's the same thing as, the people who would bury money in their backyards or in their walls of their house when they didn't trust banks or anything else. If that house burns down, the money's gone. Good luck.
Money's
right?
gone, yeah.
I mean, that's what my great-grandfather did When
That's
he
why you have
passed,
two
they
houses.
had to tear the walls off. But,
That's why you have two houses.
yeah, I think that's just some of the risk there. That is
Yeah,
rough.
just like that guy that threw away his hard drive. It's in a dump somewhere in the UK. It's
Yeah.
worth $700 million. Like, if you don't find the private key, it just poof, it's gone. It's vaporized. Like no one's gonna get it.
Yeah. So at some point in time, I mean, there's a loss of the digital currency as well, right? From either, hey, I forgot what the key was and it's now gone, to physical hardware limitations as well. Like, hey, you can only write this so many times. And then there's theft, right? So
Until quantum computing gets to the point where you can brute force that SHA-256 hash and steal everybody's private keys.
well, by that time it'll be SHA, 256,000, right? So make it a little more difficult.
Yeah, there's some kind of quantum resistant hashing algorithm.
Yeah.
All right, for our last topic, it'll be a rotating topic every week. This week, we're going to talk about the enshitification of car technology. I saw a headline fly by in the Wall Street Journal about a car feature that's angering customers, so I just had to know more. Turns out that with all the technology going into cars these days, we can't seem to get the door handle right. When people are unaccustomed on how certain door handles work on high-tech cars, it could definitely stump even some tech-savvy people. Now, drivers are wishing their smart cars were just a little bit dumber. For example, the cars like the Tesla Model S, they have flat door handles, but when you walk up to the car, they pop out when it detects the key. But, how do you get in if that fails? So there's the door handle, there's other technology that we can talk about, but just overall, cars are getting smarter, but people are not happy with how smart they're getting.
Yeah.
Well,
And then you add subscription models on top of it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the fact that a lot of the cars are so digital now, like last night driving my daughter's car, the camera system wouldn't turn on, or because of a failed update, the camera system won't turn on. So, try reversing in a car and the cameras don't turn on.
Without the reverse cam.
Yeah, without the reverse cam, you're kind of used to it now, and you're like, oh my God, how do I drive? Does not compute, right? So,
Dude, Chris would be cooked. He'd have to roll the
window down and
yeah,
look out.
yeah,
is it the window? What is that thing?
yeah.
Oh, the tonneau
No,
cover.
in the Cybertruck. Yeah, the tonneau. You have to
Yeah.
pull the tonneau cover down to be able to see. Right?
See behind, yeah.
Whereas, you drive my pickup, there's no electronics in it. In fact, it's points, right? So it's EMP proof from that standpoint as well. May take a
So what
little
you see is
starter
what
to
you get.
start, but yeah.
Yeah. Feature-wise, I will say I have like a 19 Accord that has just sat in the driveway through the pandemic and all that, so it's maybe getting usage now. I think when they released a lot of the technology for it, or when they released the car, they just decided, good enough, let's roll with it, right? So it's got one of the earlier, I guess, versions of Adaptive Cruise.
Yeah.
And it's really exciting when you turn on Adaptive Cruise and then someone comes into your lane. It doesn't take a beat to understand, are they going the speed that I'm going? Are they going much faster or slower? It just immediately slams on the brakes until it hits the distance it wants. And it's like, that's great. They were 100 feet ahead of me. We didn't have to react like that. It's like my wife's truck. It's a couple years newer. It pauses a bit. It figures out, and it'll just coast a little bit to give that distance. So it's like, I think Honda just went, code seems to work. It doesn't crash, and nobody's died yet. So ship it. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, full send.
The best part about this story is that you drive a car and your wife drives a truck. So, all right, that's all we needed to know.
Admittedly, we only have the truck because it was blue. So
Was that her choice or was
worse.
that yours?
that was her
Even
choice.
worse.
She was sitting on
Oh
a
my gosh.
couch. Yeah, couch one day, and she's like, "They have a blue one. A blue what? A blue truck." And we go to the dealer, and she, dealer's like, "Well, what features do you want? What are you interested in?" And all that. And she's like, "I want blue. I want that one." So we left with blue.
She was the probably the person back in the day with Henry Ford. She's like, I want a blue Model T. He's like, you can have any color you want as long as it's black. And she's like, I don't want this. But yeah, all right.
Yeah.
What kind of truck is it? What color blue? Is it like a baby blue?
They call it like electric blue or lightning blue. It's something like, it's a real vibrant, bright blue.
Must be a Ford. Is that a Ford?
Yeah, it's an F-150. Yeah. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. There we go. We're men.
Yeah.
We got Fords. Is it the quad cab?
Yeah.
They don't sell they don't
Nice.
sell the single cabs anymore. If they do, it's just for work. It's work trucks pretty much that do that.
Oh, you haven't heard of the F-150 sleeper? So you can buy a single cab, like XL F-150,
Uh-huh.
and then it's all over the place. But now you can get it with a V8 option, and then they will put a supercharger on it.
Ooh.
And so you have this I think like $38,000 car, maybe a little bit more. That looks very like roll down windows. You pull up to a street light, and that thing is just gone. 700 plus horsepower. Yeah,
Nice.
it's
Farm
yeah.
truck.
Indeed.
Farm truck. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Two-wheel drive little beast that's just there to fly. It's actually pretty cool. I think Shelby did it, the Super Snake, and it's very, very high end, 100,000 plus, but you can get them bare bones. You just want a car that's going to rip, they got you.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, that one has decent technology. I don't think it has been enshitified. But my Honda was just a start. But it's like the base part of the Honda is great. It's Honda. I mean, that's just what it is, right? But the tech in it,
Reliability.
it's going to fail. It is going to be garbage for me.
You know what I
Yeah.
don't like? Some of the the Qi chargers, the wireless chargers in cars.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, I was going to say that.
it's so stupid, right? It's like you drive down the street, you set it, and it turns green, and it's charging. You turn the corner, and it's not charging anymore. It's because it moved, and it's like, well, what the heck is this? And that's
Tesla
multiple
is pretty
cars.
good at that.
No, they suck
My
too.
okay, my Tesla is good at that.
Yeah.
I drop it in where it tells me to, and when I get to my destination, my phone's fully charged.
Yeah.
Chris drives like a 70-year-old woman, though. So that's the reason.
Yeah, I'm
very
not cornering
cautious,
at like
10 and
1G corners, so
Yeah.
that's not.
You
Well,
good.
can.
You're
You
like
can.
barely driving. What's the point?
Yeah. Well, he lives in traffic, so everywhere he goes, it's only 5 miles per hour anyway.
stop and go.
I think something that's pretty polarizing is the touchscreen. Like, I think many people prefer physical buttons and tactile feedback. I personally, I'm okay with the touchscreen. Like, even if you have to take your eyes off the road for a second, and it's pretty intuitive for me. And then the counter to that is people say, well, just use the voice assistant. Say, car, set temperature to 70 degrees. Like, I absolutely never ever use the voice assistant.
Yeah. So I was using Siri. This is a good one. For some reason, I have a hard time with my R's, and I was
Tesla.
No way.
yeah, Tesla and all that other stuff. So my wife says you need to roll your R's. So I said okay. So I said call, and I said a name with the R, and I rolled the R, and it actually got it. And my wife we were just cracking up because I guess I don't roll my R's in order to make it sound like it's an R, right? So
Yeah.
So I think Siri does a pretty good job. Like I use that all the time. But every once in a while I find myself like in a rental and it's got like I think Google or Alexa. I'm like, ugh, the hell is this crap? Like how I can't turn it off fast enough.
Yeah, the CarPlay stuff. I think I've never tried it, but the CarPlay stuff is pretty good with the Apple integration.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Does a decent job as long as you're not using Apple Maps. Then you're straight.
yeah.
But
I use Apple Maps all the time. No problems over here, man.
that's impressive.
Are you like a Waze guy? No, you're not. You must be, right? Or Apple Maps?
I'm
Or
a Google
What do
Maps
you use?
guy, but
Well,
Or,
Google
like,
bought
the
Waze.
Dude, that
maps-
thing.
Google bought
the maps
Waze.
hard coded in the truck are better than Apple Maps.
Disagree. I would say that Google Maps is like they took a run at it. I don't know, like 1984, and they just stopped evolving it. It's just hot garbage. Like, what was that mapping tool? Like, you were going on a road trip, and you would put it in there. Like
MapQuest.
MapQuest. It's like MapQuest,
Yeah.
but dumber. Like, I feel like it's horrible. If someone sends me a link to Google Maps. I'm like, hey, where are you? They're like, I'm at this address, instantly to Google Maps. I just don't go anymore. It's like, whatever, we're no longer
That's the
friends.
same.
I
That's the
don't.
same with Apple Maps. I'm like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about, kid. Because
Very
But
polarizing.
seriously, like,
yeah,
have you ever tried to copy, whether it's Apple Maps or Google Maps? Have you ever tried to, if you don't use it, have you ever tried to copy a Google Maps address in the web browser? And it's just like, whoa, whoa, whoa,
They
how
give you like
dare you?
latitude and longitude coordinates or something.
yeah.
I know what you're
Yeah,
talking
I'm like,
about.
what the hell is this?
Well, the reason why I like
So,
Google Maps
yeah.
is because since they bought Waze like many years ago, traffic updates are a lot more accurate
They are a lot better. Yeah.
than
Outsource
Apple Maps,
traffic.
right? Yeah, so
Yeah,
you can argue
and-
that, Brian, but like I said, just I guess seeing where police are is helpful, right? So
Apple Maps does that now
it
too.
does.
So
Oh, I wonder if they bought. I
Yeah.
wonder if they OEM just a license from Google on that.
from Waze or
Yeah.
from somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah. To get that data.
you guys ever see the probably Reddit or an X post as a cop is like, I love when people say that there's a cop ahead and it's me. I just go on the app and say that it's cleared. Like he's no longer there.
Yeah.
Poisoning the crowdsourced information.
Do you guys ever flash people, let them know that there's cops ahead?
Occasionally.
Yeah, it's supposed to be illegal, but I do.
Oh yeah, I do it all the time. I'm like, go do stop real crime.
Yeah.
Let us speed. Get the hell out
When
of
I was
here.
on a
It sucks.
motorcycle, it was a hand on top. Meant it was a cop coming.
Not bad.
Yeah, cop ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how freeways are where you are, but we have like the really tall median, so I couldn't warn people anyway.
Maybe that's why
Oh,
the median's so
look at
tall.
you guys doing the right thing. We're doing surface streets BS over here. Like every once in a while, a motorcycle cop will pull up and around a school and looking for people going 16 into 15, and then also looking for people in the like no drop off zone and just writing tickets. Just like, hey, you stop. You got like 7 cars piled up, just traffic jam, and he's just writing tickets left and right. I'm like, get the hell out of
Just
here.
trying to
Dude.
pick up your kid.
Yeah, and then people are like stuck and like their kids gonna be late for school. So what do? Just get the hell out of here. I don't know what's going on and why these people are being pulled over. Like, oh, guess what? You're the next one. Like, all right, get the hell out of here. You're just meeting a quota at this point in time.
Yeah.
There's a special place in hell for you, man.
Yeah. I guess the last thing I'll say is the connection failures now that we have smart keys. Now your phone is the key.
Mhm.
I've had my fair share of the car not detecting the phone or the car not detecting the key, and I'm just standing out there like trying to get into the car.
Yeah, that's when.
Yeah, like when you're in front of a toilet trying to make it flush, like doing that little dance. I know what you're talking about.
That's my wife tells me. So what happens if someone's chasing you and you can't get into your car? I'm like, in the 50 years I've been alive, I've never had anyone chase me into a car.
I'll tell you what I do. I pull out my 9, I bust a cap. That's what I do.
That's the answer.
Yeah. You're chasing the wrong person today, everyone.
Yeah, I think someone would just look at you though, Brian, and be like, I'm not chasing that guy.
Yeah, I'll let him go this time.
There are bigger people than me, guys.
There
Yes,
are.
you're right.
There are.
That doesn't happen.
But a little bit of profiling goes a long way if you're a criminal.
Yeah, it's like the same thing. Like if I'm in the ocean, there's a shark. There's things that are probably an easier eat than me. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm a little cocky like that. Unless he wants a big meal, then I'm cooked.
Kitchen for a battle.
We continue to get great comments about our dad joke of the week.
Dad joke of the week.
This week, our guest Tyson is up.
Don't blow it like VDL.
Oh boy, yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah, so I got 2 coming to mind. One's
Alright.
not a dad joke. The one I'll tell you quickly, my kid did this to me a couple days ago. We're getting ready for school. He walks up to me and he's like, Dad, you got something on your face. It's like, oh, okay. And he walks up to me and he just swats me across the side of the head and he goes, oh, looks like it was pain. And he just cackles as he runs away. Like, you little
get
bastard."
back here.
Yeah. But no,
I like
That's
that.
a good
I can
one.
get behind
That's a
that.
good one.
yeah. But the dad joke that I still occasionally will tell, especially in the car, is the whole, driving down the road, sitting in the car, and you look out and it's like, oh, look, there's a whole flock of cows over there. The kid's just, Dad, it's not a flock of cows, it's a herd. Well, of course I've heard of cows. There's a whole flock of them over there. Dumb as hell, but there we are.
Womp womp.
Wah,
Yeah.
wah, wah,
There it
wah,
is.
wah. That's a good one.
All right, to wrap things up, bye-bye Skype. Google will scan text messages for scams. North Korea holds the third most Ethereum in the world, and Enshitification in cars is getting out of hand. That's all I have for this week. We hope you enjoyed this week's episode. You can find us all on LinkedIn. Links will be in the description. Follow us on Instagram at PEBCAK Podcast. Thank you to all listeners and subscribers who raised 5 stars in the iTunes Store and Spotify and left us a review. We appreciate you all spreading the word to help grow the show. The best way to find us is to search for the PEBCAK Podcast in your favorite podcast listening app. My co-hosts Brian Deitch and Glenn Medina, and our guest Tyson Kindler. I'm Chris Louie. Thanks for listening. We'll see you all next weekend. As always, have a nice day.
Bye, Felicia.
Peace.
See Chris. Out.
Have a nice day.